Okay, good morning everybody. This is Ruth Backlund from Energy Works Myofascial Release. Wanted to just talk to you a little bit this morning about sinuses and allergies, right? Actually, I'm reminded this week of how the allergy season is really just around the corner as things are starting to thaw around here. And so a lot of the molds and things like that that are starting to crop up outside as it warms up can be triggering some allergies and sinus infections and things like that. So I have a dog with some pretty significant allergies, and those are definitely flaring up this morning. So I thought, well, what a perfect topic to talk about before I head into my office this morning. So sinuses, obviously there's an irritation that's causing some buildup. You know, you have a couple pair up here, you have a couple pair down here. I'm going to talk about the ones up here today that are just behind the bridge of the nose, right, behind the eyes at the top of the, just up the top of the bridge here. And those are your frontal sinuses. So some really common things that you can do, and these are over-the-counter, just natural things that you can do. Obviously if you've got a rip-roaring infection, you're going to have to go see your doctor. But some things that you can do to alleviate symptoms and could maybe prevent you from going into the doctor would be to maybe try, like a hot shower, or a hot soak in the tub, because what that'll do is that warm moisture helps loosen up some of that congestion that's in your sinuses and can help, loosen that up and let it just start to drain. Another option is to maybe use a neti pot. I've personally never used one. Some people swear by them, where it's basically washing out that nasal sinus area with some, warm saline water. Again, the same kind of principle as taking a hot shower or soak in the tub, which is what I would probably do for my preference. So the other would be to, take a washcloth, run it under some really warm water. You can make it hot, but it has to be where you can touch it with your hands, because then you could actually use that as a warm compress. You can just put that on your forehead. And again, that same principle is trying to heat up and help loosen up that congestion that might be in those sinuses. So those are some really common things. Of course, I'm going to say drink water, because if you're dehydrated, things can't break up as well. So, having that extra fluid in your body helps your body drain as well. So those are some basic things that you can do at home that would help with your sinuses. But I want to show you a little technique on how you can treat your frontal sinuses. And, again, those are just some simple things that you can do at home. If you have a rip-roaring infection, a fever, and things like that, you probably should go in to see your doctor. But that's on you. You have to make that judgment for yourself. So I'm going to teach you how to do a quick little frontal sinus technique. So what we're going to do is just above the eyebrows here, maybe about a ½ an inch, we're just going to do a nice little massage across there. We'll go down a little bit, do another nice little massage across there. And then we're going to go right at the bridge of your, where your eye socket is. Your eyebrows are there. That's the bridge of your occiput, cranial openings for your eyes. So what you want to do, your orbit here, what we're going to do is there's a couple pressure points up there, and I'm going to help you find those. And so after we've done that nice massage across the bridge of the eyebrows, then we're going to actually find a couple little divots that are located just within the eyebrows themselves, and that's where there's some sinus pressure points, and we're going to put a little compression in there. So similar to using that warm compress, if the tissues are inflamed and stuff, what you'll find is that compression will actually help relieve those tissues that are causing some irritation and sometimes lead to those sinus headaches, even beyond the pressure of all the congestion that might be there. But it's also the tissue that supports and is strained from actually being irritated. So what we're going to do is, again, just about, this looks kind of funny on the camera, but that's all right. So about a ½ an inch above your eyebrows, you're going to want to just put a little pressure into your head. So you're pushing your fingers just lightly pretend like you're pushing it into your brain a little bit, okay? So we're going in that direction. And then we're just going to slowly move your fingers across your forehead. It should naturally go, the same direction and naturally just above where your skull glides, all the way out to the side to get towards your temporal bones, okay? Now, did you notice any areas that were tender? Did you notice any areas that were maybe thick and clumpy? Those would be areas that, if you notice that, you maybe want to go back and just do a quick little massage over those areas, okay? Then let's go down a little bit, so about 1/4 of an inch above the eyebrows, and we're going to do the same thing. Just going to drag your fingers across. Again, are you noticing any tender spots, any thick spots? That's where some of those really tiny muscles on your forehead are getting tight, okay? So again, if you notice anything that's hot or anything that's thick and hard or tender, you want to go back and you want to just massage them a little bit. So now we're going to go just right on top of the eyebrows, okay? Right at that eyeball area opening. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go across. This might be a little more tender because you are going to cross over that area that has sinus pressure points. So those tend to be very tender, and that's the area that you're going to actually want to focus and work on. So I want you to go back over that area, and it shouldn't be too far from the bridge of your nose. You might be able to feel just a little divot, or it's really tender there. There's a spot for me. Now, it's not too bad. My sinuses are fine, but that area tends to get tender regardless, just because of where your sinuses are and if you're triggered, and that the tissue can get a little bit irritated. So there's a good spot for me. I actually can feel that in my right eyeball, which is interesting. So I'm just going to stay here, and I'm going to stay here and just relax and let it sit for, minimum of 90 seconds. 3 to 5 minutes is better, as we're looking at about a myofascial release type treatment. So right now I'm just putting pressure in and just a little bit of tension going out to the sides here. So as if I was drawing across my eyebrows like we did before. But I'm just keeping that inward pressure and then just a little traction outwards as I stay here. This is how you would treat your frontal sinuses if the tissues are irritated. So you might actually, as you stay here, you might actually feel your sinuses drain. That can happen. You might feel that tension or that tenderness in that pressure point changes, and that's all good too. So, again, you want to stay there probably 3 to 5 minutes. That's a good way to work on this area. And then once you're done, just continue to follow it up with going across the rest of your eyebrows here, just to open up that space, okay? So that's some quick tips on how you can work with your frontal sinuses if you get the sinus headaches or sinus congestion. Those things can help relieve some of those symptoms. So now the allergy season for us here in northern Minnesota is just around the corner, or maybe it's already arrived. Those are some things that you can do at home to help alleviate some of those symptoms. Have a good day.